You want to choose your recessed lights wisely. And if you're not familiar with what you need, that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how I'm going to look for the features and benefits I want in recessed lights so that I can light up my kitchen. I get a lot of questions, emails, in my private consult. What kind of light should I buy? What is the light going to do? What is the function of the light? That's going to narrow down how you're going to search. So if you know you want a tiny little 2-inch, very effective light, that's going to limit your search to what's out there. This video is sponsored by Elco Lighting, so we're going to get to play with a lot of their samples because they sent me a bunch of stuff so that I can show you what it's like with quality lighting. If you see and get overwhelmed when you open up a web page because they've got 10 different light modules, it's because they have 10 different features. You have to know what you need first. And if you don't know what you need, you're screwed. Elco has this lovely little clipboard in the upper right corner. You can go on their website, you enter the different features that you're looking for, and it'll give you the specifications for the light, the housing that you may need. What I find is, I don't know. So I like to start with, what's the light, how strong it is? What are the trim kits that go with it? What are the extras, like the extra beam spreads, the extra bulbs that come with it? What are all the gadgets that I want to add to it? I want to know what the light's going to do first. That's going to help me to narrow my search. I don't know what the lumens are until I know what the task is. Is it the bathroom and I'm putting makeup on? Then I want it brighter. Is it the living room and I'm watching TV, or my office and I'm doing work at a table? When you define what the light needs to do, then you can choose how bright it can get, because they can go up to 1600, they can go up to the moon or the sun when it comes to the lumens. You can get an architectural version. When you see that as one of your choices, that just means it's brighter. It probably has a little bit better CRI. It might have a little features. There's different features, and that's why you see so many choices. Don't get overwhelmed. If you read the directions and you know what you want, you start to get familiar. Okay, I want a 4-inch trim kit. I'm going to look for lights. This is a 2-inch light. It fits in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-inch cans. So if you already got a big hole, you still want a good light, this light fits in it. So that's a nice option. It also lets me do different trim kits. Look at this, 350 bucks a pop. Are you kidding me? Speaker wire, basically. If you've watched any of my lighting videos, you know I always say smaller is better and good quality and blah, blah, blah. What does that actually mean? With this particular one, this is a 2-inch light, a 2-inch module. This can fit in a tiny little trim kit. It can, a 2-inch, it can go in a 3-inch. It can also go in this 4-inch one. In my kitchen, I know I need some downlights, and a downlight looks like this. Looks like this. It aims light directly down, snaps in, and shines directly down. Typically what you'll see is a recessed light out here, outside the sink, and you see how that's lighting the floor down below. It's not lighting the stuff that's in the sink. So ideally, let's move closer. If I fall on camera, the ambulance is racing. Call the police. If I put it over here, it's actually lighting the task that's getting done. So not the top of your head, not putting you in shadows. When you decided what the light's purpose is going to be, you're going to need to decide how strong you want it to be. You can see how bright this is. I mean, this is one light in this kitchen. This is, 13 by 13, this space. It's lighting the room, so you don't need a ton of them. If I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 along this outside edge, that's a tremendous amount of light. Spend on quality, not quantity. So this is the Koto module, or the engine, or whatever they're calling it. It is the brains, the bulb. I can change the beam spread, I can add a louver, I can do color, I can do all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, the lumens are how bright the light is. And this is the regular Koto. So this is like 800 to 1,000, 1,200 lumens. I should check that. It's pretty damn powerful. One light.
News updates.
The new Koto will be available in 350 to 3,500 lumens. Lumens are going to tell you how bright the light is, how much output of light it is. You see how beautiful this light is? Oh my goodness. I can see every inch of dirt in here with the crystal clarity of the color rendering index. This is well over 93. It's 0 to 100. 100 is daylight, that is sunshine, that is... So this is pretty damn good. Kelvins, that's your color temperature. If you're choosing a recessed light that does not have color changing technology, you want to make sure that you test it out with your cabinet colors so that you make sure that it casts the glow that you want. If you don't want something yellow like this, you don't want to get a bulb that is only 2700. That's why the CCT versions of the modules are really nice, because it gives you the opportunity before you put it up there to change it. These switches on the back give you that shot before you put it up in there. When you're looking at the different modules, one of the differences might be that it has CCT or it does not have CCT. So you got to read the fine print.
Color changing technology,
which is really color correlated temperature, I believe. But color changing technology is easier to remember. That's what it does. That's 2700 Kelvin right there. You can see how warm that is. It's got a yellow cast to it. Now when I switch it, that's 3000. A little bit different. You can see how the color's changing on the cabinets. Keep an eye on the cabinets. I think we're at 3500 Kelvin. 4000, you can see it's getting much bluer. The blue of the ladder is really shining. And then the Mac Daddy of them all, that's surgery right there. That's 5000 Kelvin. It is white, crystal clear. Ain't no hiding nothing with that. Let's do it from down here where I'm not up on a ladder killing myself. Out of the way. Right now we're on 5000 Kelvin. So if this were my lights up above, then I'm going to click down. So 4000, 3500, 3000, and then 2700. You can see the change that it has on the appearance of your cabinets. Once you've chosen the lumens, all the things that you want the light engine to do, then you're going to pick the housing that's compatible with it. So the housing is determined by where you're putting it and what it's next to and what kind of a situation you're putting it into. If I'm putting it into new construction, I'm going to need a different kind of housing than if I'm putting it in a remodel or a retrofit. So you have to look at that. Also, whether it's fire rated, read the fine print. This is IKEA on steroids. So is it going to be in a bathroom, under an eave outside? Is it wet rated? Is it going to be near insulation? So is it IC rated or non-IC rated? You want to check all of those things. So when you see a bunch of different housings and you can't figure out which one it is, figure out what light you want first, what engine, what size, what function, and then see what's compatible. If this were a canless one, it would just hang there. You see that? These are the stringers. You'll see them in the old time with the silver box. The bulb went up in there. If you have a canless version of a light, you usually get stringers, and the brains, the transformer will sit elsewhere to give you reduced height, so it'll fit up there. Make sure you check that the fixtures are dimmable. Very important to the lighting is it dimmable? Am I able to control this? This is one light. I'm talking about having one here, having one here, another one over there, another one over there. This is pretty powerful. So I want to make sure when I'm ordering these lights that they are dimmable and what kind of dimmer are they compatible with. So you'll see things like Triac and ELV, which is a way that it's dimmed down so that it doesn't step and it goes evenly down. You'll see 0 to 10. That's when you have a bunch of different lights on a single transformer and they're going to go up and down at the same time. The Triac or the EVL is the one that we're going to most commonly be familiar with. So you got the engine, you know what you want, you know the features you want, but there's other things you need to consider. One of which is the type of trim you choose. So if I need a downlight that's going to direct light down, I might want a trim kit like this. You see the recess in that? You see how recessed the bulb is there? Let me turn this on. You can't see any glare from over here. You can't see any glare on my hand over here because the light is directed where it's supposed to. So the trim kit you choose is going to give you the ability to direct the light where you want it to be. So we've got all different kinds of trim kits available depending on what you need. This is a really shallow one. The deeper the trim kit, the deeper the recess away from the ceiling, like this one in particular, you're gonna get less glare because the bulb is further away. So if I'm standing over here, I can't see up into that. The hole is smaller. That's why I say smaller is always better. This is just a regular downlight trim. You'll notice in this one, on the inside, can you see that? Let me turn the light off. On the inside of this, it's smooth. So that's a reflective trim. You can also get one that has ridges. That's called a baffle. What the baffle does is sort of grab the light and soften it. The reflective trim magnifies the light. Shiny on the inside, get a little closer. This curved reflector is going to reflect more light. So if you had a really high ceiling, this would be great because it's small, smaller hole, less glare, less big light in the sky, and it's going to reflect more light down. With that, I might go for a tight beam spread so it's not washing the entire wall, unless that's what you want. These are going to give you more light output, whereas the baffle is going to soften the light a little bit. This also could go in a 4-inch trim kit, which I happen to have here, a lovely one. Look at that. This one is an adjustable trim for like a vaulted ceiling or sloped ceiling, so it allows you to move the bulb this way. So I can adjust the beam spread. So if you look on the table and see where the light is going, I can adjust this based on the pitch of the ceiling. This allows me to aim the light where I want it. So that's a gimbal, an adjustable trim, whatever they might call it. They all come in different colors, white, silver, all that kind of stuff. You want to look for what you want. It's out there. More than what you need is out there. In addition to a recessed can that comes with separate pieces, you can also get retrofits or all-in-one. That's kind of like the wafers where you get the light, the transformer, and everything up in that. And all the lighting companies have those lines available as well. They also have other ones, like Elco's got this really tiny oak one, and this one would just sit. No stringer, no box, boom. Just clips onto your sheetrock. So this is for a retrofit or remodel, and then you're not cutting a big hole in your ceiling, and then it just clips on, and that's the transformer there. So we're on Elco's website, and here's that lovely little 1-inch I just showed you. And you can see, look at this, 1-inch downlight, dim to warm, 1-inch square downlight, dim to warm, 1-inch adjustable, recessed pull down, and then we've got a trimless option. So you're gonna see a bunch of different choices. When you look at the specifications over here, we can see the transformer it needs, and based on the transformer you choose, you can use either an EVL dimmer or a 0 to 10. When you use a 0 to 10 transformer, you can do what's called daisy chain, and you can take a bunch of these and string them together. The transformer is more expensive, but these will all be on the same box, so that saves you money. When I look at Elco's specification book, Koto's just one of the lines. I mean, there's an oak, there's a teak, There's lots of commercial. There's lots of old parts for those old cans that we got as well. So don't get overwhelmed. Decide what you need, pick the features, and then find the lights that fit that. So when you're looking for a light and you've decided how many lumens, how bright it needs to be, what kind of a trim kit it's going to have, what kind of housing you need, the next wonderful choice that the lovely people at Elco include, which is fantastic, are these little jewels. Look at this. Do you see that? Do you know what that is? That's heaven right there. This comes with a 38-degree beam spread, which is pretty standard in most reasonably priced, good recessed lights. With those wafer lights, you're going to get more of a floodlight. That's more of 60 degrees, which this one comes with. If you want to wash out your room, you've got the option. Or, like in my case, I might want to have a tighter beam spread over the sink. I could go for the 25 degree. And this is cake. Look at this. Boom. Comes out. I pop the bulb out. Now, the thing I love about this is if I decide I want to change this out down the road, it's just a matter of changing the bulb out. And now I've changed how tight that beam spread is. So let's see it in there. It gets even tighter. Let me see if I can do this. One-handed, not so easy. You can see the lux, the tight, concentrated light is even more. With the 25-degree lens, I'm getting a much tighter beam spread. So if I want to do this over the sink, it's going to isolate the light on the task. And you can get an 18 and a 22-inch beam spread. So if you wanted something tighter, like I might want over my sink so it's not spilling everywhere and it's just lighting the sink and not spilling into the pass-through I have to the dining room, I could use a tighter beam spread. And the nice thing is I can change my mind. Now this is 35 degrees. If you look at the floor, 35 degrees and from, let's say, 6 feet in the air, look at the amount of spread. The amount of spill light. So the concentrated light of this, right about now, at this height is about 5 or 6 feet. At the 8-foot height ceiling, I'd get about 4 feet of concentrated light. However, what you need to consider when you're thinking about your recessed lights and how much it will spread is, if my lights are up over the countertop, when they hit a surface, it's not going to be at 8 feet from where the light is. It's going to be at the countertop height or whatever surface you're using that light to highlight. If you've stuck this far, you're smart, because you know I always save goodies for the end. And one of the best new features of some of these better quality recessed lights are the ability to dim to warm or to have human-centric lighting. And what the dim to warm means is if I got a light that was a 3000 Kelvin light, so there's 3000 Kelvin, with dim to warm options, you can take this from 3000, there's 2700. You can take it even further like candlelight. With Elco's human-centric lighting, you can take it down from 4000 kelvins to 1800 kelvins, which is like going from really white, clean light to really warm and giving you both options. And I always love options. So I want to thank the nice people at Elco for sending me all these toys so that I can share them with you. If you want more info about all the cool lights Elco has to offer, check in the comments for a link to their website. I'll also link to build.com where you can order the module, the housing, and some of the really cool trim kits like this slope ceiling one that I know a lot of you ask about. So I'll have all the links in the description.
Turn on the lights!
If you've got questions, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks so much for watching.